pushing 70-30. 70-30. Divine day, divine rise. Great to the day. I'm grateful for the day. I'm grateful for the day and the lessons that I learned within my day. 70-30. 70-30. I want everybody to think about that. 70-30. 70-30. 70% of our day, 70% of our lives, your body's 70% water. Take that thought in your mind. Hold that in your head. 70% of your body is water. For every breath that you take, it's all in the little groups and shit. 70% of your body is water. So how do you control, or how do you set the intentions for the current of the flow of your energy and how you define it? 70%, 70%. Let's think about 70%. 70-30. I put up a post. I'm going to read the post back off in a little bit after I get all this done. Like this and then. 70% of your day. 70% of it. I put that in there like that. That's cool. I came up with this formula after having a conversation. One of my my man Will, he hit me up from way back in the day. This is back in the day of NYU days of going to school for when I was in college for my psychology stuff. And he saw one of my live videos in one of the groups that I'm in. He saw one of my live videos and he was like, yo, I see you got the LLC. And he was like, you remember when we always had that thought process? This is way back when I was like 16, 17. I always had that thought process. Between 16 and 17, I always had the thought process of, I was saying this out loud to myself as like a mantra, unconsciously not knowing it. But I was like, whatever I do, I'm invested in or I have stock in. So whatever I use, whatever I do, I have stock in. That means if I'm wiping my ass with Charmin tissue, that means I got stock in Charmin. That's the way that we need to actually think. When we think about this program of 70-30, remember I've talked about the 12 by 12 and being stuck within your value times the hours that you put in equals the result. We got to get out of that mindset, but it's all based in that percentage. This ownership of ourselves, the ownership mentality, the LLC mentality, owning yourself, owning your energy, I broke down this formula in my mind. It came through in a download and it just clicked. 70% is you, the building of you, the inspect of you. We spend 70% of our time, we spend most of our time unconsciously stuck in 70% of the external, 70% of the external, while meanwhile giving ourselves 30%. We'll give 70% to a relationship, 70% of ourselves to a relationship, and 30% to ourselves. So then we like, I gave my all. That's what you actually did. You legit gave your all. I broke down these numbers. This is the numbers that I use for myself. You can use them, break them down how you need to. But for my 70% of based to myself is 30% based on my intention. I put 30% of my energy into my intention, setting myself up in my intention, building myself within my intention. I spend another 40% in the aspects of the creation of everything that's going to keep me in alignment with my intention. So that 30% that's in the aspect of the physical aspect is into the physical is going to be the 15% I'm going to spend into the aspect of building. That 15% that I'm going to spend in the aspect of me building the foundation, or that aligning my physical mirror to match the energy of my creation and to match the energy of my intent. Then I'm going to take that other 15% and I'm going to put that into the structure that I'm going to build into my space to contain that energy into that space. I've said this about the aspect of going into the no self. Going into the no self, and then from the no self, you create the environment. I said this in the polygamy lecture. Building your environment, that's based on the aspect of the creation. 40% of my energy is used into build my imprint and build where I'm at in my brand, where I'm at. Gotico Alchemist LLC and everything that goes under it. 40%, 30% of that is based on my intention. My intention is to grow. My intention is not only to teach, but also to learn, to study my scholarship. Everything that I do into that space, that's based within that 30%. That goes into when I build the physical structure. That means me, use this as an example. I can take this video, I'll take this live video right here. Video might be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long it may be. I'll take this video, this content, I'll download it, and then I'll take it into my video editing. I'll take it into the video edit, and I'll edit it and I'll put it on Instagram. I'll put the full video on YouTube. Put the other video, I'll put like 3 minutes and like 33 seconds or 4 minutes and 44 seconds. I'll take the content and then I'll split it up and I'll put it on YouTube. But I have other things with it. Great rising, great rising. I have other things lined up with it. This is the aspect of that building in the physical structure of this video is the concentrated aspect of my creation and my intention. That's your impact. Your impact is going to be concentrated into about roughly 30%. When you go into a relationship, your job, you can give your 100%. We have to take ourselves out of the mentality of giving up that 70%. Remember, I've talked about it in the day of you waking up. You wake up in the morning, you wake up. If you wake up at 4 a.m., you only got 20 hours left in the day. If you waking up at 9, 10 o'clock, you only got 15 hours left in the day. And you might try to add on by taking away daylight savings time. You might try to take a little bit from the other day, the next day for yourself in order to bring yourself and say, okay, cool, I got 30 hours in my day. You might have 30 good. Now, okay, cool. I got 24 hours. I didn't get my full 24 hours. So I'm gonna take the first 4 hours of this day right here, that night, and I'm gonna take them 4 hours, and now I got 24 hours. Either way, you're still putting 70% of your time into the external, the byproduct. I've said, like, you don't need an economic plan, you need to understand your energy. We get stuck on the byproduct. That 70-30 aspect, you get stuck on the byproduct. So since you stuck on the byproduct, a lot of us, some of us right now in this moment in time, you've already started off this year in this cycle. You started off doing the same things you did before. You started this cycle doing the same things you did before. Even in the aspects of everything that you do, when it goes into, remember, that's the linear process. I can take that same 70-30 rule. Everything that I do is based on 70-30. Every business dealing, everything that I do is based on 70-30. 70, my creation, 40% goes to my creation content, 30% goes to my intention within that aspect, and the 30% that I now give to myself as the automaton, the physical representation, Papa Lucifer, he gets 30% of concentrated energy in order to do what I need to do in the physical. This becomes that science to that math to yourself. I can take that same formula and apply it to the aspects of my business and my LLC. Where in my business and in my LLC, it goes into that same thought process. I take 70% of my earnings. I take 70% of my earnings off top, and that goes to my operation costs. That's going to operations. That's going to my the taxes for the quarterly taxes I gotta pay. All of that goes into there. The taxes, savings, my taxes, my savings, my operation cost. That's 70% of what I make. That 30 from that 30%, that's what I have to give to myself. That's the 30% I have to give to myself. That's the 30% that's going to be the payment for myself. I remember when I first was like, why am I always going to job? Why have I not seen to be able to get into my space? Why can't not seem to push forward? But it was the reason that some of us I'm going to quit my job, because you have to understand that space is something from you to learn from. For me, looking at my job and going into that manager aspect, getting into the higher aspects of my jobs, I learned that science. My job has a 70% aspect to it of everything that it got to do. Operations, taxes, and everything of that nature. So from that 30%, since they're in control of that, from that 30% that they give to themselves, I only get 15%. I only can eat from that 15%. So when you're in that side of that job, that relationship that you're going in, you're only going to get 15% maximum. You're only going to be able to get 15% maximum. It's set up for you not to really. It's set up from an external standpoint for you to understand it line by line. Whenever we looking at, they don't teach us this in school, they don't teach us that and this, they don't teach me this, they didn't give me this, they didn't give me this. Half of the books, half of the information, what's stopping you from going to go get it? What's stopping you from getting into your current and your wave to go get it? What's stopping you from pushing forward? That leads into this gate call for this week, today. You notice yesterday we did the breath, or we did air. Today we're doing water. So we think about the aspects of pushing forward. This is gate talk. Good fortune that may be perceived as the result of serendipity, but it truly derives from effort and dedication. To accept that one is in the right place is deeply spiritual. I'm going to read that one more time for the pushing forward card. Good fortune that may be perceived as the result of serendipity, but it truly derives from effort and dedication. To accept that one is in the right place is deeply spiritual. And then the lines on here are aspects of integrity, pacing, impact, projection, staying away from the aspect of being a prima donna, and staying away from the aspects of being the external self-discovery. The determination of self, the body is your temple. So how do you program yourself into the day? Your body 70% water. Your body 70% water. Think about that. Your body 70% water. How do you control the currents within your body? How do you control the current events in your body and within the internal? It shows out into how you're looking into the world. Everybody right now is looking at the shit that happened at the fucking Capitol building and laughing about that. Now you're a part of the fucking ritual. I saw it, I laughed at it, and went on about my business. Because I can go back in my subconscious. This is the key. I can go back into my subconscious. Think about a Bobby Hemmett lecture when he was talking about during these points in time, this is when they're going to drop out distractions and give you decoys and deploy their little decoys and get your energy socked up into it. That's when you reanimating the program to where your ego goes to go search for information. As opposed to when you're in that process of you 30% out, you giving 70% of yourself to the world, but you only giving 30% to yourself. That means the world has the greater share. That means you're attached to the greater share. This is the defining moment for a lot. This is a defining moment for a lot of us. Being inside that space. I'm at 185 right now. Just left the gym. Just drank my last fucking other half of my smoothie. I'm feeling fucking great. because I've taken on my day, controlling aspects of my day. That healing process. You don't need an economic plan. Everything leads right back to the shadow work. Everything always leads back to the shadow work. That dream relationship that you dreaming of, shadow work. That dream job that you want to work towards, shadow work. That vehicle that you want to use to pull up into that dream house, shadow work, shadow work. Everything leads back to the aspects of what you need to do internally. Getting into the internal sense of yourself. Getting into the internal sense of yourself and doing that work and watching everything flourish outside of you. Your environment is going to be directly infected by the aspects of what you do for yourself. So if you wondering why you still got people around you, you still got individuals around you, your job still ain't treating you like shit, you keep getting in these shitty ass relationships, whether it's friendship, the family relationship, love, interest, whatever it may be, take that moment in time and look into yourself and say, what do I need to look at pushing forward? How does this trigger in the aspect of, how does this trigger how I need to view the true definition of integrity of myself, the integrity that I hold for myself? If you don't know the definition, first you got to look the definition up first. You always got to do that work. If you're looking at the aspect of, how is this relationship, this job, whatever I'm doing when I'm starting my day off, how do I need to learn how to pace myself? How do I need to learn how to pace myself? What is my impact? Remember, we were talking about impact all week. What is my impact? And this leads into the aspects of really getting in tune with you. Because once you understand that 70-30 rule, once you get out of the 12 by 12 and you get into this 70-30, and that 70%, you can break that down however you need to break it down at first. And that 30%, you need to break that down however you want to do it at first. But the key is 70% is going to you. 70% is that 70%. When you look, when entrepreneur, business owner, starting your business, anybody that understands that, you get next to somebody that's understanding the aspects of that, 70% is going to be the sacrifices to the business. 70% of my time is sacrifices to the company. 70% of my time is sacrifices to the company, my building, my brand. Me creating that body of work, me creating that content, that's 70%. But that's going into that aspect. I'm not thinking about the byproduct of the profit, because if I'm thinking about the profit before I think about my work, then my profit, yes, I might get that. I might get a good 3 weeks. I might get a good couple months. But since I'm not genuinely in tune with me pushing forward, when that shit falls, when it starts to go down, when the trend is over, the trend that I followed, the projection that I put out there, I don't have the formula to keep myself going. That's one of the major keys. Once you have administered the formula that's working for you, now to keep that formula going. That way you're always winning. Where, like, you think about in the stock, when you think about playing stocks, regardless if it goes up or it goes down, there's a formula to understand that when it goes up, I'm making money, and when it's going down, I'm making money. Same thing with your aspect with the seasons. Every time that I'm going in somewhere, if I'm raising up, that means I'm learning. I'm learning my energy. I'm making that money. I'm learning. And when that shit going down, I'm still learning and I'm still building. Regardless, this is how you become that aspect of that untouchable force. This is how you can now look at, this is how now you going to look at when you sitting there staring and you seeing the Capitol building got raided and they poking niggas and they laughing and all that shit. Is like, how did that impact you? The reason that you looked at it was because it was attached to something what's in your own mentality. Something inside of you is still there looking for that. Something inside of you is like, yeah, they're getting what they deserve. But meanwhile, what do you deserve? Meanwhile, what are you focused on? Meanwhile, what are you investing in? Meanwhile, how are you putting your time into that space? Meanwhile, what is your view onto any relationship? Meanwhile, what is your impact in every relationship that you were in? Because you're only giving 30%. I don't care nothing about that 50-50, 100% bullshit. Because if you're coming from the aspects of the true intent of yourself, your true intention is to be open, is to learn, to bring accountability, to bring that evolution to that space, and then you're creating, or you have created the reflections of that in yourself. When you go into any space, that concentrated aspect of that 30% is going to be stronger than any 50%, 100% that you bring in anything. You have to bring yourself into a space to where you're not looking like, I gave my all to your job. They paid you for every hour. I gave my all in that friendship. They listen to you every sob story and everything of that nature. They listen to everything that you fucking said. And they even gave you good information, but you didn't listen to it. I was in that relationship and it was the love of my life. Shut up. You had the love of your life every month, every 6 months. For 2 months, every 6 months that you go through a cycle, every 2 months, you in the love of your life relationship. You keep running from yourself. Because 70% of yourself, 70%, look at the natural aspect. 70% of the weather for one day can happen. Remember, because a whole season is all for one day. So 70% of the weather can be hot. It can be cold one day and you'll get sick. What did you? Man, it was good all these other days, but now it want to be cold. How did you adjust, nigga? You understand the season. Understand yourself into that season and you moving forward. When you're sitting there really putting yourself into that space, that's where that internal work comes from. You sit there in this thought process in your mind. Some of us have that thought process in our mind, pushing forward when it comes to the integrity. And we're like, I don't like opening up because every time I open up, somebody uses it against me. Guess what? That's the reflection. That's what it's supposed to be done for. They're using that to empower you and invoke the energy that you need to evolve in. If you keep moving, you are using it, so why can't they use it? Think about the childhood trauma. Think about the issues, the childhood traumas. All of these things that you go into relationships with friendships and whatever, and you go into that space and you give them that little bit of information. They're gonna break that down, make it a video. They're gonna break that down, just like when you see World Star and all these other videos. They're gonna break it down, they're gonna take that 30% of your impact and that energy in that space, and guess what they're gonna do with it? They're going to turn it into a meme. They're going to turn it into a video. They're going to turn it into a voice clip. They're going to turn it into a t-shirt. They're going to market the fuck out of that 30% that you give them. They're going to market the fuck out of your shit. Stop giving away your 70%. Stop giving away your attention to your intention. Stop giving away the aspects of your energy that you can use to create and actually cultivate yourself into a better space. That way you can create something in the physical that's based on that impact. That's your key into yourself. No matter what the move is. You going into the space right now, everybody's like buckling about what are you going to do with the investment. You get every opportunity based on what you need. You get the eggs, you get the flour, you get the milk, you get everything you need to bake the cake. You get the elements, you get everything you need to bake that cake. But you worried about, man, my cake don't look like that cake. Put in the work. Stop putting yourself on trying to be discovered. Discover yourself first. The reason you haven't not been discovered is because you ain't discovered yourself first. The reason you ain't found that true love, that truly powerful relationship, because you ain't gave it to yourself first. Everything outside of you is going to be a reflection of that. But we get scared when people hold up that mirror. I want you to push forward. I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to fucking grow. Someone asked me, someone hit me in my inbox the other day, like, I said, I'm not no goddamn guru. I simply have information that comes to me that I've applied to my experiences and came through my healing process, and now I'm sitting in a point to where I can actually put that out. That's always been my purpose. I've acknowledged all the signposts for my resistance. I've acknowledged all the signposts for my resistance. That what brings me resistance. That's what I'm aware of it, and I know how to move. I know how to move through it or use it to take it, transmute it, and go forward. I want you to be the fucking best. Friday, Friday coming up. This is your first time tuning into one of my lives, or you've been rocking me for much support for all of that. Y'all know Tuesday, God Hour Podcast. This week's episode was copy and paste. It's out now, streaming Spotify, iTunes, God Hour Podcast. Links are all in my page. Links are in the page. Capital G dot, capital O dot, capital D dot, capital HOUR Podcast, God Hour Podcast. Spotify, iTunes, Anchor, Podbean, Pod Addict, iHeartRadio. You can say Alexa, play God Hour Podcast. I still don't know how the hell I got God Hour Podcast on Alexa, but that's that wave. But this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, do something called Godical at the G.O.D Alchemist, my YouTube channel. Much gratitude. Come into the Godical Alchemist, the YouTube channel. I'll be putting I've already made the post, so anybody that's already subscribed to my channel, y'all, if you hit the bell when I already got the post up, but I'm putting that post up a little bit later for the link to my YouTube channel. We're getting into signpost of resistance. This Friday, we're going to be getting deep. Remember, I've been telling y'all for the last couple of weeks, we're going to be getting into these human design charts aspects. That human design aspect. Understanding your human design. For example, this one is on the aspect of pushing forward. I'm going to read this card one more time because I like the way the card sounds. I like the energy, like invoking that energy. Pushing forward. Good fortune that may perceive as results through serendipity. That means you just think good fortune that happens to the ones that are good or happens to the ones that you got to get out of that mindset of good and bad. We know that. But derives from effort and dedication. To accept that one is in the right place is deeply spiritual. To accept that you're inside of the space that you need to be in, and you're at where you're supposed to be at, takes a level of honesty that we've been getting into over the last couple of weeks, and we're getting deeper. Tomorrow, I want you to be the fucking best, but it takes you being honest with yourself. It takes that true honesty with yourself. Everything that you do is going to lead back to your shadow work. Lead back to that internal work. That house that you want, that dream relationship that you want, that's all of love and it's helping you grow. Shadow work. That inner child work. Get in tune with that inner child. That job that you're wanting, that dream job that you want, that's going to allot you all the prosperity and abundance that you want in your life. Shadow work. The vehicle that's going to pull up into that house. The vehicle that's going to pull into that house of your dreams, your dream world. Guess what? Shadow work. That internal work. And if you're interested within services, everything from general readings to right now I got 2 offers up. Right now I got 2 offers. It's within my story. I'm gonna make another post. But I have the gate opening reading, the gate opening spread for, I want to say it's for $33.33 right now. And I have the inner child healing spread that's $44.44. But you also can go to Godical Alchemist. Everything's in the description of this video. You can go to GodicalAlchemistLLC.com, or you can inbox me and we can start the dialogue for the readings. Get that shadow work consultation. Get yourself. There's no excuse anymore. The veil has been lifted. What you're seeing outside of you right now is the results of there's no veil. What you're seeing right now, if you're in a space right now, I'm feeling like you in that space right now where you're feeling like it's getting really, really dense and constricting. That's because your shadows, the shit that you really need to work on, is sitting there right in front of you. If you're feeling that despair, you feeling that vulnerability. Also, what I also wanted to say, go look at Sabrina on Netflix. Part 4 is out now. Part 4 it's had a bunch of gems in it, but they have a bunch of gems in this one. Go pop on that. But I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to excel. I want you to accelerate, evolve, grow, come into that true relationship. I want you to understand the aspects of marrying yourself. I want you to understand the aspects that divine union that you're looking for is requiring you to marry yourself. Yes. I want you have to unify the aspects of yourself first. Your masculine, your feminine, marry yourself first. Dennis Rodman did it back in the day and was knocking off bad bitches ever since then. But that's neither here nor there. But I want you to be the fucking best. You interested? If this resonates with you, share the video. I appreciate the support. I'll see y'all Friday. 8 p.m. Bring the notepad, bring the paper. We're gonna get into a lot. We're gonna get deep into this subject. If you're interested within a reading, consultation, generalized bill, hit me in the inbox and I'll throw you the price list and I'll show you how we build from there. I want you to be the best. I love you. We love us. Ashe.